San Diego State softball, obviously their first super regional in San Diego State's history. And they ended up dropping today's game. They dropped yesterday. They got out to a 1-0 series lead. They had to take 2 out of 3 in the super regional if they wanted to advance. They took the first game, a 4-3 win. AJ Murphy, I love watching her play. She is a competitor. Maybe I'll try to get her on the show, but she was super fun to watch. Their third baseman had the big double to put the Aztecs ahead in game 1, gave them that 4-3 win. Allie Light, Hernandez combined for 7 innings, no walks in that game, just 1 run allowed. I believe that was game 1. Yeah, what a win there. And then game 2, obviously, or game 2, I should say game 2 and game 3. The offense just was not as good, not clicking as well. The pitching was not as good. There were some mental errors. There were just errors in general in game 3. Yesterday, a 10-1 loss. I mean, the Utah offense, you could see why they're one of the better teams in the country. 10-1. First inning, there was a 2-run home run. In the 4th, there was the grand slam. That really opened it up, and it was like, all right, kind of just move the attention to game 3. Obviously, they didn't end up winning that game, though. In the 5th, there was a 3-run home run. Lehman, she ended up only going 2 innings in this outing, giving up 3 runs, 4 hits. And, Allie Light, like, I felt good going into today in game 3 about Allie Light. Like, yeah, she can get the job done. Can the offense come through with the big hits? But today, Allie, she made kind of a mental error. She made a physical error. The first couple runs for Utah, ground ball to her, could have got out of the inning. Maybe she went too quick, bobbled the ball, and then she kind of forgot about the runner that was at second to start the play, went to third, went and scored because Allie Light had just forgot and kind of made a lazy late throw in, and that started it for Utah. And after that, Solis, she had an error at shortstop. Hallie Morris drove in a couple runs off the bench for Utah to lengthen the lead for them. So it was a disappointing ending, but I did like the way that the San Diego State offense fought. I mean, they had their chance there, right? Bases loaded in the top of the 5th, right? Top of the 5th, Murphy struck out. AJ Murphy struck out with the bases loaded. And there it's like, all right, well, their best pitcher beat our batter that we want up at the plate. At least the batter that I wanted up at the plate in that spot, based on just the way that things had been going in the tournament, was AJ Murphy. Like, that's who I want up there. They kept going, and AJ ended up striking out swinging there late in the game. Last inning, last 3 outs, like down even there, like they kept fighting. Jillian Solis, she kept fighting. Had a 10-11 pitch at bat, singled, won that battle. Murphy ended up grounding out to end the game, but they kept fighting. And I think this is only going to be a stepping stone for them because they have their whole starting lineup coming back next year. The broadcast was talking about that. So I'd expect this team to go out there and hopefully win the Mountain West again, get into the regional, and hopefully come out of the regional again. But, this year it was kind of like San Diego State with the basketball, right? I know State didn't reach the Women's College World Series or the Elite Eight in softball, as that's what you would call it, I guess, relating it to basketball. But it was one of those things where, like, man, they were 1 win away from the Women's College World Series. Like, I don't even put San Diego State softball before this, obviously. I didn't even imagine that as a possibility. With the Aztecs basketball, I didn't imagine the Final Four, the national championship game, as a possibility. I was hoping the Aztecs would win a couple tournament games or 1 tournament game, and maybe that you would label that as success because that would have been Dutcher's first program win. And here, I mean, they got to the super regional. Like, that's the first super regional in program history. I think the coaching staff has done a great job. There's promise there with the returning players that they have. So I'd expect a good year next year out of San Diego State softball. I think they've attracted more eyes as well obviously playing on national television, and just maybe just San Diegans that weren't watching this team before or didn't really care a whole lot. Maybe those that watched this tournament with San Diego State, now they're like, yeah, this team, I can get behind this team. I'm going to go to some more games next year. And so I think this is a good thing all around for San Diego State. It's obviously, yeah, it's a disappointing end, but it's a successful season. They did something that, you know, was making the head coach, Stacy Newman Denise, made her tear up going to the Super Regional after they got out of that UCLA Regional. I know they didn't play UCLA, but to get out of that in LA and go somewhere where you haven't in her second year, like that's a success. So a great job out of San Diego State. At least as an Aztec fan, a future Aztec, I was proud of the fight that they had against Solis there, late. And man, AJ Murphy, she's you could just tell how much of a competitor she is.